see people that support it and people that support this account, you miserable. This account is being run by a miserable who cannot get over what her ex did to her. Her ex did her in the worst way. And ever since then, she has vowed to take vengeance on every man that exists on the planet. The modus operandi of this account is to virtue signal women that have been used in their lives and cannot get over that trauma. These people do nothing for women, let me be honest with you. If you go and see what they actually do, like what tangible contribution they have to women in South Africa, it's fuck all, aside from riling women up so that women can get behind their posts so that they can go viral for cock like this on social media. How the are you gonna keep coming at this guy for something he did when he was fucking 18 years old, bro? This man was 18 years old when that shit happened, bro. You telling me any young man that's 18 has major success, is a multi-millionaire, cannot control his impulses, prefrontal cortex is not fully developed? You're gonna come at him for something he did at that age. I'm not making excuses for behavior, but what I am saying is that human beings are fallible, bruh. Especially when we're young. Yeah. This man is damn near 40 years old now. Y'all are still trying to get at him for something he did when he was 18. How miserable are you? This that probably has this account was getting smashed in the public toilets when she was 18 probably. You know, that's how ratchet you are when you're 18. Now you coming at this guy, bro, like what's wrong with you? Heal.
So this case study over here is telling us two things about himself. One, he can't read for meaning because he doesn't understand what Women for Change does. And two, he is part of the reason that South Africa is as dangerous as it is for women. I honestly don't expect him to change or to do any better. I'm just glad that he's publicly letting women know what a red flag he is. Who I do want to speak to is the men who want to listen, so let's go through a few things. Women for Change is an NPO that raises awareness about gender-based violence issues specifically affecting women, but they also do highlight issues that affect men in some instances. They do this so that when they have campaigns, petitions, or they want to raise awareness about certain issues, you understand how important it is because you see how regularly women are impacted by gender-based violence. They provide medical assistance, legal assistance, counseling, and they give women and everybody information on what to do regarding gender-based violence when they don't know what options exist for them. They also partner with organizations like the Safe House and R-Word Crisis, and as you can imagine, that's exactly what they cater to. So I understand why this case study doesn't think that Women for Change has done anything for women or for South Africans, because he might not have needed assistance with gender-based violence, but for those who did or have used their services, Women for Change has been invaluable. Now, even if they didn't do all that work outside of social media, just the fact that they raise awareness and inform people in the country about what is happening, 142,000 people find value in that, so that in itself is a contribution. Now, I'm not sure why so many of us are fooled into believing that the only incidence of violence by this particular artist was in 2009, because that's not the case. We can look at the 2013 incident with Frank Ocean, the 2016 incident with Bailey Curran, court order from 2017 that his ex-girlfriend has against him for 5 years and she's now trying to extend for life. And then there's an incident as recent as July this year. Now, as a country with the highest rate of sexual violence on the planet, it doesn't make sense to platform somebody with a history of violence, particularly against women, from 2009 right up until this year. Now, it's not as if we don't have enough issues to sort out with our local artists, because we definitely do. And they deserve the same level of scrutiny and sanctioning as international artists do. We understand very well what it means to boycott a business when they are harming society or anybody in the immediate circle. But it seems like when it comes to musicians, especially your favorite ones, we can't seem to understand that music is their business. And when you still support them, you are doing the same kind of damage to society. And in a country like ours, you are essentially saying that gender-based violence is not a deal breaker for you. And this unread case study here is showing us why he's part of the reason that dangerous men find a safe space in South Africa.
I'm not making excuses for abuse.
God, man, your entire video is about making excuses for abuse. You think they'll be making a documentary about his alleged dark past if the man was cruising around preaching the word of Christ? Huh? This man's been denied access to Australia, the UK, Canada, and Japan. What does the rest of the world know that you apparently do not? After actually listening how you went on and berated women for change, it's very easy to see why you smart Chris Brown so much. The GBV rates are what they are in this country. They're trying to make a difference. They're trying to take a stand. And what are you doing? You're trying to berate and belittle and invalidate them. You should feel ashamed. GBV rates in this country are no joke, and at least they're trying to do something about it.
This is a perfect lesson on what not to do when you want to stand up for a person that's found to have done acts of GBV. Don't slut shame, don't victim blame, and don't put a timestamp on when a victim of GBV has to get over the trauma so that it can suit you. You did not go through the trauma. You did not experience any fuck all thing. So why do you feel so entitled to tell people, to tell victims of GBV when and how they should feel about the trauma they went through? And then you want to put a timestamp on it as well. And then you dare want to restrain victims of GBV as well on how they should express themselves and when they should express themselves. Now, that behavior has a contradicting impact on what you're trying to do. Because you're trying to make the argument that he changed, but you could have done it in so many different ways. You could have actually done some research to actually see, did he attend counseling? Did he go for certain things? Did something happen in his childhood that could have done something? You could have looked for other things that other contributing factors to his acting out in that time. But you didn't. You resorted to victim blaming, slut shaming, and all of this stuff that goes against whatever you tried. And it actually proves the point of these types of organizations you're actually shaming. I also just want to say, prefrontal cortex development never made anyone an abuser. You went through it, I went through it, so many other people went through prefrontal cortex development. And yes, if development goes horribly wrong, by all means, it can be something to look into. However, in the majority of cases, that's not the case. I would understand prefrontal cortex damage. That's something different. The damage can take place in different ways. It's either as a result of kak you caught on, something you did, knowing the risks, or it's something like an accident. But prefrontal cortex development never developed into an abuser. So there your argument also fell through.
Oh, while you're scrolling by, I'm just asking a question. If you're a woman going to a Chris Brown concert, what should we do, the public, if you are violated there? Y'all are literally gonna make me the bad person for minding my business. Because it does happen to women in such spaces. So what should we do in your case now? I literally hate people wasting my flippin' time. Now you'll be blaming the public, the nurses, the police, for self-inflicted wounds. Robbed there or something terrible literally happens to you as a black woman. Even worse, you're kidnapped. What should we do now in your case? I'm literally asking because I'm curious. I'm telling you now, I'm not reposting anything that happens there. You are sharing anything that happens there, you're blocked. I'm literally not gonna entertain anything that happens there. You know, this thing is bigger than Chris Brown. And it makes us women accountable for our actions, that we stand 10 toes on business and we actually mean it. However, I'll get back to that. If you as a woman associate with men who have a predatory behavior, out of your choice and your money and your time, you cannot make it my responsibility to care. Because that certain man treated you poorly, that certain man denied you 1,000 rands, and now coming to us crying that when you've been violated. Crying, I'm a woman, help me. You know what that does? It takes away the resources that was meant to go to somebody else that actually needed it. And that's the point I was getting to. There are genuine women and children who need help and they must be assisted. Not clean, nobody concert. You went to Chris Brown or Maporisa concert and you were there, that's a you problem. That's it. Of course, we know that all of these things can literally happen anyway. However, that's not the question. If it was the question, I wouldn't have asked it. Let me give you an example. There's a weather warning. There will be a hailstorm in the south, and people are advised to not drive there. And you decide that you're going to drive anyway, ignoring all the precautions. Do you want us to send people out there to go and die helping you? Exactly what I'm asking with that question. If you're going to surround yourself with predatory men, do not make it my responsibility to look after you. This includes the nurses and the police, as they could have been assisting somebody else who's coming from work. A child that was injured. They can prioritize those people in comparison to you. Since you're also very closer to danger, you can assist yourself with those people closer to you. Sorry, not sorry. Let's keep pushing, guys. We are almost there. The link is in the bio. I'll also add it in the caption as well. Lomsunu must stay in his country and perform there. We are simply overcrowded in South Africa. Asimfuni lana, like Canada, bamfuni. Those that want you must go to the States and follow you. Those that booked a ticket must book a flight and go to you. I feel like this is a marketing tactic. People claiming that 92,000 people are going to a Chris Brown concert. Meanwhile, it's even a quarter full. Meanwhile, the people who are encouraging him to come are not really backing it up financially. This is for both dates as well. I feel like people are supporting him because it's relatable. It's a relatable case. The interesting part from Black South Africans is they don't have the money. They can barely afford food. When you look at it, the center is full. Near the stage, that's where he will be. And outside of that center, it's not. People be talking like you can't afford this. If I wanted to go, I would purchase with my YouTube money. And I'm not joking. I do not use my hard-earned money to support men with such a vile history. Like I'm supporting Didi, R. Kelly, Maporisa, and all these men. This is just play money to me. And then there's some of you coming into my comment section uninvited, telling me that if you had the money, you too would purchase a ticket to go see Chris Brown. I'm like, yeah, that's why you don't have money. The universe is the sincerest part of you that will come to existence should you have money. Frankly, we are tired. That's why you will remain where you are. And another thing, a glimmer of hope that I might give you. Concert may not even be cancelled due to the petitions that we sign. But let me drop the mood. It will be due to the fact that the people are not filling up the stadium. Because at the end of the day, capitalism cares about money. You do not back Chris Brown empty-handed, empty pockets. You back Chris Brown by purchasing his ticket and filling up his stadiums. Not apparently filling them up, but them being filled up. It's not just Chris Brown, it's every flippin' celebrity that we know about that we don't speak about. If you don't speak up, it makes you an accomplice. Because if not, we're just as guilty as politicians. Really. For me, there was always this deep inner knowing that I'm losing faith in humanity. That's why I'm in the farms. With the kettles, the veggies, the fruits, my own power supply of electricity, my own supply of water, learning how to produce things for myself, learning how to create an eco-environmental space for myself. This Chris Brown controversy have reinforced that belief in me. People in South Africa love the theory of fixing South Africa. That's why we have the most beautiful written constitution, not the practical labor that comes with it. Because they would expect you as a person to fight corruption, but not that kind of corruption, not this side. Selective outrage when it concerns your favorite or the people that you hold in great esteem. When it comes to the people that you don't like, it's corruption. I've had a black South African in the comments tell me that I'm a kwere kwere. You're talking to someone that also loves music. I love sound. I grew up listening to Chris Brown. It's never the right time to say goodbye. Baby, you're a winner. Doesn't even take round down. Gonna tell the whole world to give it up for my girl. They even went to the mayor harassing him to get off his position. Even when Helen Zille said the same thing, even worse, they were so quiet. Now I'm even realizing and accepting that if white people want to hire whom they want to hire, they should. It's their money. If they want to hire illegal foreigners, not South African labor, they should. It's their money. Because even when we do fight local artists, you don't want, no, not even Java, don't touch him. He's innocent. They went and even harassed Lady Zama. It's a fake activism because it concerns you and the person that you love, that you really want to spend your money on. And tomorrow you want me to stand beside you to fight Julius Malema because he's chasing off white people? Ngeke, never. Or your supposed knowledge of him chasing white people, even though we know that he never said that. Or he never even said that he's gonna bring illegal foreigners from all over Africa. That was your white people that you put into power. This concert is gonna pass. Definitely is going to pass. And you should have the same mindset with every single thing that happens in this country. You cannot choose when to fight corruption and when not to fight corruption. Just because your favorite is doing it does not mean that they should not be held accountable. People, again, with my experience, I've learned that they don't care. So why must I limaza myself with that? I'm only going to speak my voice because this is my account and this is where I express myself. If you don't do anything on the ground with the local artists and then you follow around and you, the person, make the conscious effort to not support them, does not mean that we don't do that. I will never support deadbeats with my money. I will never support abusers with my money. I work too hard for my money. Even if I like certain people, I have the conscious mind to unlike them very fast. I'm not the type of person to look away, and you shouldn't even look away when I do something. You should have the reasoning mind to reason for yourself. And that's why we as Black South Africans, we're really not going to progress. We are literally just going to go from Wesa to Wesa. You have principles because your principles can be moved around. You're the ones with selective outrage, activism, your fake activism, your fake patriotism. So why should I bother myself because you are unemployed and you don't have jobs and you're taking loans and you're literally depressed? So why should I care? If you do not care, why should it be my concern? So I'm not gonna fight corruption with your timetable. I'm not going to be engaging with your timetable. Since everybody can do what they like and then let it be, same with white people. They can do what you're doing. They are entitled to do so. With their time, with their money, with their resources, they can do that. They cannot be told by you whom to be hired by, where they should hire, where they should do their things, because no one gets to tell you how to do your thing when you spend your time, your money, how you want to spend it.
I am not surprised that South Africans still support Chris Brown and are going to go see him at his concert, because South Africans generally do not care about GBV and rape and all these crimes that happen to a lot of South African people. A lot of South Africans just don't believe victims, and if they do, then they victim blame. Why were you there? Why were you wearing this? What did you do? There's a lot of celebrities who get accused of rape and, GBV, and they still get platformed throughout the country. Look at Java. Lady Zama accused him of, I don't remember if it was just GBV or if it was also rape. and he still gets platformed to this day. People act like it never happened, and in fact she was the one who was labeled as like crazy, or they made it seem like she was the one that was trying to get attention, instead of actually being a victim of Java. Zuma himself was once accused of rape, and look how many votes he got during the elections. I think generally South Africans, even women, are misogynistic. I just think that a lot of South Africans are misogynistic. They just do not like women. Or they don't respect women. They don't believe women. They don't think women are human, or they don't respect the humanity of women. Generally speaking, I think South Africans are just stuck in survival mode, and all they care about is themselves and making money so that they are able to survive in this crumbling economy. The other things about politics, about social issues, they couldn't care less. I mean, our elections got rigged right in our faces. People went and stood in queues for long so that they could vote, and we watched our elections get rigged, and South Africans did nothing. So I am not surprised. I'm really not surprised that people still support Chris Brown, and that they are willing to go to his concert and still give him money. The problem is a lot of people think things are not that deep, so they would rather be tickled by entertainment that doesn't explore deep concepts, that doesn't really have any integrity. They just want to be entertained. They just want to have fun. That's why groove culture is as prolific as it is in this country. South Africans are past the point of really caring about the state of their country, because they just want to survive and they just want to take care of themselves. They don't really care. We always ask ourselves, why don't South Africans do anything? Why aren't we angry enough? And I think it's because they just don't care. I thought it was because of, we don't have resources, we don't have time, and it could be those things, but I genuinely think it's just that people don't care, and they would rather have their comforts. They would rather do what maintains their comfort rather than doing something that is uncomfortable but is the right thing to do. They don't care. They just want to have fun. They just want to do what they want. And yeah. I mean, even with the fact that you can go to the police and report a rape, and they can be the ones themselves that even grape you, on top of the fact that you are like reporting a rape that happened to you. South African police don't take GBV seriously. They don't take rape seriously. They don't take these crimes that happen to women and children on a large scale. They don't take them seriously because a lot of the time they are also perpetrators, and they are misogynistic. I mean, the mass majority of South Africans don't even understand what consent is and how it works, and the fact that in order for somebody to participate consciously within sexual intercourse and sexual relations, they have to enthusiastically consent, and they have to be informed. A lot of South Africans have no idea how that works. I even think that South Africans think that such accusations against like celebrities shouldn't get in the way of somebody getting their bag. Like, they think that it's really not that deep, and it shouldn't get in the way of somebody continuing to be successful and famous. They will support regardless, especially if they think the person is entertaining or if they think they're talented. They will continue to support. That tattooed guy who was saying that the Women for Change organization is just an organization of women who got hurt by their boyfriends and didn't get over the trauma of being abused, is projecting. He thinks that women think like men. You know, when men get their heart broken at like 15 or 14, and then suddenly that they hate all women and want to get revenge on all women, that thing that they do, he thinks that women accusing the perpetrators of GBV and rape are doing the same thing. He's projecting. So yeah, all in all, I'm not surprised. I really am not surprised. I'm not even disappointed because it's not like I didn't expect this. Like, Chris Brown still has supporters all over the world for some reason, even though the cases that he has against him are publicized and people know about the abuser that he is. People still continue to support him because they think he's a good artist for some reason. I think it's the fact that people only care about status and money and somebody who's famous, and they think in their head like that person is supposed to be a role model for them, so they think that at some point in their lives they're going to become like the famous person. That's why they continue to platform them. Looking at the Diddy case, I'm going to guarantee you that so many more celebrities are going to be exposed for, you know, either being in connection with Diddy or doing the same types of things that he does, or just in general being criminals or being abusers and things like that. And people are still going to platform them because they care about fame, wealth, and status. They don't care about victims. And yeah, it's because we're in a society that's conditioned to not care about victims, because usually victims are attacked or they have crimes perpetrated onto them by people with privilege. And obviously, this society pedestalizes people with privilege, so they think that accusations like that shouldn't get in the way of somebody's reputation or status or their wealth or getting their bag. They care more about the person with privilege rather than the victims of that person. But yeah, we still have a long way to go. We've always had a long way to go in terms of getting our society to the point where we can actually believe victims. Like, Zuma got such a significant vote during the elections and he was accused of rape, guys. You know, people really, I just think they don't care.